Well, thanks guys for coming here. Let's get down to business of what happens at the end of a conference day. So as I walk up here, I was wondering who are these brave folks that I just made friends with a few of them that stay all the way through the last session of a conference. And when I see you guys, I realize you guys are probably the most curious folks who would never give up a chance of figuring out if you're going to miss something in case you walk out 10 minutes earlier. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to make the next 10 minutes of your time worthwhile for staying back, because I appreciate that braveness. And also, on its aside, if you guys find me after this, drinks on me. I'm sure in the last 2 days, you guys probably have seen more than 10 presentations with the title, How Do We Onboard the Next Billion Users onto Web3? Well, you know what? They're already here. If I tell you that there are already over 40,000 NFT-gated communities currently existing on different Web2 social platforms, such as Discord, that has verified over 2 million wallet IDs, what would you think? The question is, when we talk about NFTs changing the world, we have to understand the most impressive thing about NFTs is its versatility. And when we think about the killer feature, which everyone in these 3 days is looking for, let me tell you, the killer feature is communications. And NFT is actually the weapon that's going to push this killer feature into even more than 40,000 K communities' hands. You've all seen this. Everyone talks about Web2 is a walled garden. But have you ever noticed that we only complain about certain walled gardens? Not every one of them. We complained about the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the Twitters. But have you ever heard anyone complaining about Amazon being a walled garden? Not really. So what's the difference here? I think the difference we have to notice is we care about walled gardens when it's about what we talk about, our thoughts, our ideas, where we spend time on, which is why you only hear complaints about walled gardens on Twitters, Facebooks. And so the whole idea is that we're not totally against walled gardens. We only want to have the ability to move. The issue is not so much with the walled gardens, it's the lack of ability to actually change platforms when we're in Web 2. And this is exactly where, when you think about how to onboard people into Web 3, is you need to find where the killer features is, where people already care. And that's why the 40,000 communities are very important. Because in my previous life as a venture capitalist, we will always say, find where the pain point is. And the 40,000 communities are telling you there is a huge pain point, that they're willing to jump through hoops, even when it's a band-aid solution of a chatbot inside Discord that they have to click on, go to somewhere else, validate their NFTs, come back in. To do what? To be in a safe community, a safe, secure community where they know the rest of the people in that community are like-minded, like themselves, so that I can share my ideas and thoughts freely. And to the next point is, when I trust and I feel secure, that's where Web 3 comes in. Because if you just share your mind, it's just Web 2. What does Web 3 bring? It is the extra capability of sharing your big mouth and your pocket. What I mean by the pocket is, if you think of our social interactions, right? Why do we have birthdays? Why do we have Christmases? It's an occasion for us to give, to receive. And that's what communication actually entails. It's more than just sharing our mind. It's also sharing what's in our pockets, what we own, to show our appreciation. So when we think about how Web 3 is going to differ from Web 2 and why communications is the killer feature, is you have to figure out what will be different. And the only thing that is different we can do, and Web 2 can never do, they can never catch up on, is our ability to allow people to change assets, exchange ownership. That's what blockchain is all about. That's it. So if you want to get one thing out of this whole 10 minutes, is remember, communications is where we naturally spend the most time in, having fun. And the only part about Web3 that's going to change how communication is going to be is the ability to share, to give and receive, and to trade and exchange, and to have fun. So what do we mean by having fun? To visualize it, right? You look at this, you're like, oh, okay, it looks like Discord, great. But what is different is this is not a mock-up of Discord. This is actually something we already developed. A new app that users are able to use, but built on completely decentralized P2P network. But if you notice on the left-hand side, you can now look at people's wallet as if you look at people's Instagram wall. And you can actually instantly within that community pick out things that you like, just like when we're kids. We will always point out things our classmates have and say, hey, I like that, can I have it? And your friend's going to be like, what are you going to give me in exchange? Those are the exact actions we foresee Web3 is going to release that nobody in Web2 can do. Because why? Because Web2 relies on a private database, on someone owning a record of who owns what. I'm not going to bore you with this slide, but essentially the one concept you need to take away from these 10 minutes is onboarding of the next billion of Web3 users is already here at our door. We are gazing at the killer feature. We're just not realizing what it is yet. It's as simple as it is communications, and NFT with its versatility is going to be the key to unlocking that door. Thank you very much. Hope you guys have a great time after this. Have a beer from me.